Okay, so a great question, what is useful for people that want to be public speakers, particularly leaders? What are some of the issues they encounter? What are some of the things that would be of benefit to be aware of when we're speaking in public? And speaking in public doesn't mean just on a platform or on Zoom doing a presentation. We're also talking about leading other people, influencing others, managing other people, in the sense of what we want to do is try to think of voice as a sense of influence and leadership. So where do we lead people and what are the things to keep in mind? So what I've encountered from my work, because I've worked with so many, probably over 2,000 different speakers, not to mention singers, who also are communicating using their voice and leading and influencing. But let's go to the speakers. What I notice is important is probably the most important thing is that when we're speaking, we're serving others. And often we're speaking from our perspective without considering about what the other person may need. So what's in it for the listener? What is it that they want? Now, that means what is their style? What industry do they come from? What is their age? Demographics? All of those components. So then when you're speaking, you're tailoring your message, what it is that you want them to feel, what do you want them to know, what do you want them to do. You tailor it, you package it in a way that they can unravel it, like open it up, receive it, be inspired about it, and are willing to take it from you. So they've got to be willing to receive it. So the way to do that is to make sure that there is something in there for them. So what's in it for the listener? So the intelligence or the creativity of the speaker is crucial here, that you're flexible enough to wrap it up and present it in a way that they will receive it. And so usually we use commodities like anything around money, time, status, or happiness is a really interesting way to word what it is that you say. Anything around the 4 human wants, anything around control, security, acknowledgement, and belonging, people listen to it more because they go, oh, I'm interested in that. So you've got to be intelligent enough or creative enough to be able to make those simple statements that grab people's attention and not too much detail. So that's the other aspect, is about being concise and getting to the point. Hopefully I'm doing that with this recording, is to get to the point. What is it that we're here to deliver? What is it here that they want to receive? So what's in it for the listener? So conciseness would be about using less words to say what you say, bullet point, and give the detail only later after you've done introductions. I really believe in introductions. Do a drone view of the village before you want people to book in and come to the village. So we need introductions to what it is that we say. It's highlights like news headlines, and often we're getting into too much detail too quickly and people are not engaged yet because they're trying to find what it is that they want in the midst of too much content. So depending on your personality type, if you're a detailed person, you tend to give too much detail. So personality type affects how you communicate. And then you can be too direct, okay? That's the other aspect. People being too direct. Leaders are often very direct and too brief, and it can become very not enough soft skills, not enough emotional intelligence. It becomes task-focused instead of relationship-focused. So that's another aspect. Is how do we communicate in a way where we show value to others? We put people's emotions first and what they want first, what benefits the listener. How do we acknowledge people's emotions like feelings and needs before we say quick no? Too many times leaders, I also find, are very direct, very brief, can go the other way, and it becomes non-relational. And I think communication is about walking together on a path, walking together. I don't walk ahead and I don't walk behind. And I often also use, like you're playing a ball game. You're throwing the ball, really making sure that person's hands and their height and who they are and their age is capable of collecting that ball. And then they hold it and then they throw it back to you. So it needs to be an engagement, pausing, waiting, observing body language to see how these people are going, being flexible enough for that. So this is the emotional intelligent aspect. And one more thing is the inner critic. The inner critic is the other aspect that I think comes up a lot. People feeling not good enough when they're speaking or worried about what others are going to say. And this is when we're distracted from sticking to the meaning of what we do rather than who we are as people, right? So if we can just focus on the gift of the message, the purpose of the message, the intention of the message, rather than on the person delivering it, like instead of focusing on the package being delivered, the gift, we tend to focus at the hand that's holding the package or the person who's delivering it. And I think self-focus too much like that distracts you from the presence of delivering. So the inner critic is often a problem, that sense of being perfect, the sense of trying to please everybody. Everybody needs to like me. I'm going to lose my reputation if I don't say the right thing. Tends to be too focused on self rather than on who am I being and what am I delivering and what does this mean to others. So in a nutshell, they're the aspects I've seen, which is areas of how do we communicate to others, making them first. How do we communicate in a way that's concise and gets to the point? How do we emotionally become intelligent in the way we speak to others, putting others first, emotions first, valuing others over task? Evidence does show that when we show value and give value and feel valued, we will be more productive. So those soft skills first. And then the other one is the inner critic, where we're just so self-focused, that we're so worried about ourselves that we forget to put the attention on what the others want. Because at the end of the day, everybody's thinking about themselves. They're really not worried about what colour your hair is. I mean, body language is important and definitely is 93% of what we say. However, remember, everybody comes and meets you for a purpose and they're wanting to receive something. So unless you're distracting, the focus should be on the gift and the delivery of your message, not yourself. I hope that helps.